Well, during a meeting with SCOPA Eskom board member Busisiwe Mavuso stated that the ANC-led government was to blame for the power utilities mess. SCOPA chairperson Mkhuleko Hlengwa asked her to leave the meeting immediately. Now, Congress of the People says it is shocked by Hlengwa's reaction. The party spokesperson Dennis Bloem joins us now for more. Also joining us for the conversation is Advocate Stefanie Fick, who is Chief Legal Officer at OUTA. Warm welcome to both our guests. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Mr. Bloem, let's start with you. Your reaction to that heated exchange between Mkhuleko Hlengwa and Busisiwe Mavuso.
You know, Ntokoza, good morning, and good morning to the viewers. According to us, Busisiwe Mavuso have said nothing different and wrong what we have said as the Congress of the People all the time, that the ANC has caused this mess in Eskom. Now, we don't understand why people want to deny and defend that fact. It is a fact that is there in the Zondo Commission report that the ANC must take full responsibility for what happened at Eskom. That's why we are sitting with this load shedding today, because Eskom was captured by the Guptas. Now, we are totally shocked with the reaction of Mr. Hlengwa, the chairperson of SCOPA, to act in that way against Busisiwe Mavuso. It was totally wrong. It was totally unacceptable that he was accusing her of playing for the cameras when she was only telling the committee the truth and nothing else but the truth. It's the truth that hurts most. That's why she was asked to leave the meeting. But it will not change the situation. The situation and the truth will always remain that the ANC led government. Why are people so insensitive? Why are they objecting when people are saying it is an ANC-led government that caused this problem? When people were shot dead at Marikana, we are saying that it is the ANC-led government, the police, that have killed those people. In Sharpeville,
Mr. Bloem,
they have killed people.
If I may just interject here for a moment, while Ms. Mavuso may make the statement that she's made, she is nonetheless still an Eskom board member, and I believe at some point in this heated exchange, she called for the board to only be held accountable for the completion of Kusile by 2023. Now, in making that statement, I mean, is she saying that her fiduciary duties as a board member hang in abeyance until 2023? Who else, other than the accountability authority that the board is to be held accountable for the mess that Eskom finds itself in today?
But what is wrong when Busisiwe Mavuso is pointing a finger of fact to say that this whole problem is not, it does not start now. It is a problem that the ANC-led government has caused. What is the problem in saying that? Because it is a fact. She is just pointing out. Now, the finger, everybody wants to point a finger at these people. These people, this board was brought in to come and assist and correct the mess that is there. Now, if people want to put all the blame on them, it is unfair. It is totally unfair. It is not. It's wrong to do that. This board must just tell the people and the country the truth, why we are sitting with load shedding today.
All right, Mr. Bloem, I'd like to bring in Advocate Stefanie Fick to the conversation. I asked Mr. Bloem about the fiduciary duties that lie with the Eskom board, regardless of the purposes or the reasons why they were brought in to clean up the mess, or they still have to be held accountable for issues that are still plaguing the entity today. Speak to us about the accountability aspect that I believe the SCOPA committee meeting was hoping to get out of that session.
So in general and objectively, a board has got a fiduciary duty to look after the affairs and making sure that Eskom is managed correctly, that the finances are done correctly and so forth. I think that maybe it was good that we are having this debate and this discussion on these issues, because what I saw from that exchange is, whether that was political or not, we have to accept certain things. And what is really a tragedy is that, Parliament pointing fingers at the current board of Eskom, who has a tremendous job. They have an enormous job. I do not envy any of the board members of Eskom, purely because of where Eskom finds itself. Eskom is not going to be fixed in the next 6 months, year to come. Firstly, it appears that there is still political interference. It appears that the board struggle to get done what they are supposed to do, because that's why they are asking, for example, that some of the requirements of the PFMA be, it's sort of an emergency procurement, because it's not done. There's certain things that they can't do because it is a government entity. It's a state-owned entity. And then if you look at Parliament, what the first thing was that I was thinking about is that there was supposed to be an investigation by Parliament as to what was going on in Eskom. That never happened. There was a minister that was supposed to come to account for what happened at Eskom. That didn't happen. And that was the fiduciary duty of Parliament. We have been saying as an organization, OUTA, and we I've just shared with Parliament why we think that they were sleeping at the wheel. They are the last entity to talk about accountability, because what we've seen during the state capture era, and even after that, we went through the whole COVID-19, we went through a pandemic, and what happened? PPE corruption. And no one has been held accountable by Parliament in terms of the executive. So, yes, if you ask me whether the board has got a fiduciary duty, yes, they do. They need to make sure that Eskom is managed to the best of their ability. But what I'm also saying is that, the executive, Parliament is also to blame for the mess we find ourselves in as South Africans, because the best interest, everybody, Parliament, the executive, ministers, the board should be able to deal with all our state-owned entities to the best interest of South Africans, not parties, not government, to the best interest of South Africans. And I think people are I think the executive and Parliament forgot about that.
Right. Unfortunately, we are going to have to leave our conversation there, but I want to thank both our guests for joining us for that very quick conversation into that SCOPA meeting. I'd like to thank Dennis Bloem from COPE, as well as Advocate Stefanie Fick from OUTA.